sends justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you might learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
A cat fight over kitty litter and cleaning up a friend's quarters. Pizza delivery driver Jessie Shepherd is suing her former tenant for rent and an electric bill. Defendant Nicole Goddard claims she never signed a rental agreement. Now it's Joe time.
All right, Miss Shepherd, it would appear that you're suing a former friend and tenant, Miss Goddard. Is that right?
Yes, Judge Brown, that is.
And it looks like you are alleging that she rented 2 rooms in your home and agreed to pay $100 a week plus the electric bill, but instead left owing a significant unpaid rent balance. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Goddard, you say you've already paid the plaintiff all you owe for rent, and you shouldn't have to pay anything else since you cleaned for her, and because you spent a lot of time with your boyfriend, you were hardly there.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Miss Shepherd, reading your complaint, it looks like this agreement was consummated May 2012. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Tell me what happens, please.
Miss Goddard and I had known each other for a while. We were friends and coworkers. Approximately May 2012, towards the end of the month, she came to me and we discussed the idea of her moving in as a roommate and renting 2 rooms for my home. She moved in approximately May 20th, and at first everything went quite well. Our agreement was that she would pay $100 every Friday and the electric bill. She never paid the electric bill, and the $100 every Friday. Occasionally, she would pay the $100 on the Friday that it was due, but for the most part, it was $20 here, $30 here, which I tried to make sure that I kept track of the sporadic payments so that I could make sure that I did know how much she was actually owing me at the time. Between June, I would say for about a month, from the middle of June to the middle of July, she did stay with her boyfriend, and I actually did not charge her any rent for that time, even though we had not discussed in advance if she didn't stay there whether or not she would have to pay. Primarily, the reason why I did that was because I knew that she had been laid off. I had worked for the same company. I'd been through the same layoff. I knew what she was going through. So I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and give her some time to, get another job.
Nice of you.
Thank you. It wasn't until September that I sat down and discussed with her how much she was behind on rent. And during that conversation, she volunteered right then and there to move out. Approximately 4 days later, that following weekend, she moved the majority of her things and didn't pay any of the money that she'd owed. And then over the next month or so, it was an ongoing back and forth conversations of when are you going to come get the rest of your things, when are you going to clean, when are you going to pay the remainder of the rent that you owe, when can I get my key back. It wasn't until I kind of got blunt with her and quit being nice in our conversations that she decided that it was finally time to come get her things.
Do you have her children with her?
I don't have any children.
I know you don't, but she has 2?
She has 2 children, yes.
And boys 5 years and 1 year. Were they there?
They lived with her and I under the same roof at the time.
That's what I'm talking about. So
yeah.
It was the defendant and her 2 minor children.
Correct.
Well, I'm looking at your sworn accounting, and I see you've kept some very meticulous notes here.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I see the rental agreement that you had. It's a simple one, but it suffices to show that there is a periodic tenancy on a weekly basis. So let's go to the defendant. What do you have to say?
Yes, I did move in at the beginning of May. I came to Jessie with an opportunity to move in as she was also in need of some help as well. So we agreed. I moved in. I moved in at the beginning of May is what I have said. Upon moving in, I had to actually clean out 2 bedrooms, which one had two small kittens living in it.
You find that's offensive? So we're not talking about an apartment. You have a friend that you also work with. She knows you need a place to stay. I have a large home. It's only, well, relatively large home. It's only me. You can come in, dear, bring your 2 kids, and you object as part of that kind of informal, casual agreement that you had to clean up one room so you could move in. You know, she didn't have to offer the thing for rental.
I did understand that, but she was informed like a week before I moved in. She had actually told me she needed to clean out the rooms prior to me moving in. She knew that I was going to move
that's
in.
not going to excuse the delinquencies on the rents. It's like,
No.
it's rather sporadic payments.
I didn't pay her sporadically. I did pay her every Friday. It was not $100 even every week.
Let me see your records, because I'm looking at her records, which we
I have no
qualify as
receipts.
business records, since they did handle this as a lease agreement. As aforesaid, on a periodic basis, week to week. So that has a special situation in American law. Business records are presumed to be accurate until proven to the contrary, if introduced by the keeper of the records, who is your friend, the plaintiff.
However, we never signed any rent agreement.
Oh, yes, you did.
I signed a rent agreement.
You signed a rent
Prior to
agreement,
moving
and the
in.
provision is absolutely clear. And again, since I keep referring to those jolly fellows in the green tights, Robin Hood and the boys would have understood it.
Right.
It's
However, it was a verbal
establishing a
agreement.
leasehold on limited leasehold on a week-to-week basis. I pay rent in the amount of $100 per week, due every Friday.
Yes.
In addition, I will also pay the electric bill, which runs approximately $75 to $100 a month. How clear can it be?
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says she became roommates with a friend with children who needed a place to go. She says the defendant made sporadic rent payments and sometimes didn't pay at all. Let's get back to the case.
Clarity is there. How much
Yes.
clearer can you get?
The rental agreement I did sign, however, I did not live there until about July 4th.
May I put a point to you?
In fact, she didn't even move half the things out of the
If you
bedroom.
had a problem, why didn't you get your boyfriend to help you pay it? Because
Because she
obviously you've got a
We agreed
1-year-old
on
and
it.
a 5-year-old. You're not married. You're living with somebody. You're taking your kids back and forth. And
wasn't
you
about
are probably about to have number 3 if you aren't careful.
No.
And one further thing, the reason you're not married right now is there are few men that are willing to get married these days. And a lot of that's because they didn't get man training to understand what the whole obligation thing was. And I submit, if you keep doing what you're doing, your 2 boys are going to be
My
part of
boys
that.
are going to be just
And the next generation of young ladies is going to have a harder time finding an eligible man that's got any level of education, isn't in jail most of the time, or has money that's available and discretionary. So you win. 730 in the call.
This courtroom is now in recess. So just for clarity, barely there is still there, and the agreement is pretty real too. There was a deal in place for rent the defendant needs to pay. We're on to the next case. Please raise your right hand.